Today is Monday, and it was last Monday that I launched this channel, Disgruntled Danny 2, which I described as the backup. Most of you will know me from my main channel, which should be up and running again by the weekend, although for the foreseeable future, what I'll be posting on that channel is come and watch my videos on this channel, because this channel, as of time of recording, isn't on YouTube's radar. Nonetheless, I checked my phone last night, and in just 7 days, almost 1,000 of you lovely people have subscribed to the new channel. Thank you so much. Today, we'll be returning to a topic I've spoken about many, many times. Non-binary teachers, because I've got a clip coming up, which is now 2 clips because editing and shit, where a non-binary they-them teacher almost straight up admits something which I've suspected for a long time. Now, I'm using my own words here, but there are some non-binary types who go into teaching because kids, in particular young children, they are thick as shit. They'll believe anything you tell them. The subtext is almost, this teacher has gone into teaching younger children to pretty much brainwash them. Quickly referring back to the start of the video where I was talking about YouTube channels. Of course, if you're watching this on Facebook, none of that applies to you. Carry on as you are. So this is a preschool teacher. Very young children before they go to what in the UK we call primary school. If you're watching in the New World, I believe you call it elementary school. For my friends watching down in the penal colony, if you could pause for one moment from putting shrimps on the barbie and throwing your boomerangs around, because I like to think I'm culturally sensitive. What do you call first school in Australia? Now, given your criminal ancestry, do you call it Borstal or a Young Offenders Institute? I am joking, of course, Aussies, it's pure jealousy. It's a strange thing in the history of the British Empire that we discovered this massive new country, which was hot and full of resources, and we sent the criminals to live there, and we stayed on this poxy island next to the French. So the person we're about to see isn't, to me, a conventional non-binary type. And by that, although non-binary individuals make out they are individuals, so many of them look exactly the bloody same. Massively overweight, with a huge septum piercing and greasy, unkempt, brightly coloured hair. Now, in my opinion, and I'm stressing it is only my opinion, for the most part, I think the non-binary thing is bullshit. It's a form of attention-seeking being spread through social contagion and TikTok, where being mental is somewhat fashionable. So this person doesn't have the brightly coloured hair or any of that. However, they, even though it's a female, is still rather rotund, not conventionally pretty, and when it comes to putting across an intelligent argument, let's say she's cognitively disadvantaged.
Okay, y'all, it's my first day as a fucking preschool teacher. I'm so stoked. This is a get ready with me because I want to look very preschool teachery. Also, in case you're wondering, I'm non-binary and I use they, them pronouns, and the kids will be calling me Teacher Sunny and using they, them pronouns for me, so I'm really stoked. But yeah, this is a non-binary preschool teacher get ready with me. If you're excited about that, stay. If not, no big deal. Cool. Now that I've vomited out the nervousness, I think it's time to actually get ready. Now, I don't know about the rest of y'all non-binary folks, but personally, when I apply makeup to a workplace, I get nervous. I do. I get a little nervy because I'm scared they'll perceive me as a woman. But hopefully, because the people I'm working with are quite literal toddlers, I can just do what I want and they'll learn that everyone can do what they want. Is that crazy to dream it? To help it? I'll come back when my makeup's done. Okay, here's the finished product. I decided to keep it pretty neutral. And for those of you who come into the comments and say this is neutral, eat a dick. This is what works for me, okay? So this is the makeup. Now time to show you the outfit that I picked out for today.
My first question is, who the hell is employing that thing? Because if I was a headmaster, you can't say headmaster anymore, if I was a head teacher, although head teacher sounds like someone who teaches people to perform oral sex, If I were in my office and the creature from the woke lagoon barged her way in, or their way in rather, explaining, I'm non-binary, I use they, them pronouns, I'm not a man or a woman, I'm both and neither, my response would be, you can fuck right off. There is more chance of me employing the man who sits in his car across the street filming the children on the playground than you getting the position. One thing you can say about nonce is they slow down when they drive past schools. Doing her makeup so that the children don't perceive her as a woman. But she is a woman, to me a particularly unattractive woman, a proper erection killer, an extremely challenging wank. But if you're the type of person who needs to surround yourself with young children because they're the only people who will buy into your ridiculous made-up identity because human beings only come in female and male, maybe you're the problem. Whenever I hear one of these non-binary educators talking, I'm convinced I could go home and eat a tin of alphabet spaghetti and tomorrow I would crap more sense than they make. And she's so nervous she's vomiting. I think we can rule out being bulimic. But honestly, if you're the type of person who throws up because you're so nervous, being around children who are so young, most of them won't be able to tie their own sodding shoes. Do you belong in education? And with her makeup completed, to me it looks like she's taken a light bruising, like she's lost a very minor boxing match. And her phrase, I can do whatever I want. There's no mention of what she'll be teaching the children. Nothing to do with their well-being, because the children simply do not matter. It's all me, me, me. She uses they, them pronouns. It's all us, us, us. So we've seen the makeup. Next up is the clothing. And look at the state of the bathroom. Why do so many of these people live in utter squalor?
I think that's for today. Okay, here's the outfit. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep this unzipped and like kind of fun, or if I'm gonna zip it up and like, oh god, like that's too much. That's absolutely not happening. Okay, yeah, we're gonna keep this unzipped, and let me just add my final accessories, and that'll be the get ready with me. Okay, so I've got my rainbow mask, my cursed baby bracelet, and this satchel. And then for shoes, I've got one white sneaker, oh, peep the matching socks, and one yellow. Because, I don't know, it's extra preschooly to me, it's kind of cute and quirky, and I can make a whole video about why I do it personally. But yeah, that's what I'm doing today, and here's my bracelet. It's cute. Look.
The boiler suit. To me, it looks like the style she's going for is as if she was working in a power station in the Soviet Union in 1985. No, in 1986, because that's when Chernobyl went up. And radiation poisoning would explain a lot about this person's personality. And the shoes. Imagine being a parent taking your 3-year-old child to their first day at preschool and the teacher doesn't know how to dress herself and then get corrected because the teacher prefers themself. The rainbow mask, the bracelet, the satchel, which is actually a tote bag. To me, all of that screams, pay me attention. And I'll bet being non-binary is her entire personality. She has nothing else to offer the world. And that pay me attention, look at me, I'm special. I think there's some sort of psychological arrested development going on there. I think if you scratch the surface, it will be, pay me attention. Please, mummy, pay me attention. Look at me, mummy. Mummy, it's not my fault Daddy ran off with that whore. The thing for me, though, is the policing of language. For example, being called teacher rather than Miss or Mrs, although Mrs is unlikely, no one is marrying that thing. And we see this a lot with the TQ cult, and I need to explain this. When I say the TQ cult, I mean the hardline members of the trans, queer and non-binary communities. Most trans people are just trying to live their lives, and if that's you, I wish you the very best. But these people who demand we deny reality to save their feelings, and I need to say that because In a previous video, I didn't explain what I meant by the TQ cult and it being a tiny minority of a minority, and a chap left me a very long, very angry response. And I'm guessing it must have taken him a good hour to write that. And I read through it, and it took me 3 or 4 seconds to delete it. Anyway, there's another story about language and the TQ cult from Canada. Whenever language gets altered to be more inclusive or progressive, almost always it's derogatory and dehumanising to women. So in Canada, it's either the Canadian Cancer Association or the Canadian Cancer Society. I didn't write it down and I can't be asked to do the editing later. One of those two, anyway, has apologised because of an offensive term on its website concerning pap smears or cervical smears. And the offensive term is cervix. I would have thought that was rather necessary given the nature of the procedure. But the association has apologised, saying that the word cervix can be distancing or offensive to some non-binary people and trans men. Also adding that some men have cervixes. Maybe Ted Bundy or Ed Gein, they may have collected a few cervixes, but if you're born male, you don't come with one. I can go through my entire life knowing I will never encounter a speculum. Yes, ladies, I know what it's called. But an alternative word has been suggested on the website. For any women watching, I apologise for this. Rather than say cervix, they now say front hole. When I mentioned language becoming dehumanising, yes, that. The cervix isn't even the hole. We all know that. That's the orifice I haven't got. And surely, with a medical procedure, reality trumps someone's feelings. Front hole sounds like something a 5-year-old has come up with, and that makes sense, because we see time and time again so many of the TQ cult mentally have never progressed past being young children. That's the end of this video, mercifully. If you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe if you haven't anyway. If you are subscribed, please leave a comment because that helps the algorithm, and as ever, thanks for watching. And it was last Monday that I started this channel, Disgruntled Danny 2, the backup. So, in 7 days, not fucking 7 days, 8 you thick twat, anytime, non-binary teachers. People who don't know their own gender identity, solid binary teachers. People who don't know their own gender, but feel they're qualified to impart their knowledge to the rest of the world. It's like having story time with someone who can't read, particularly unattractive woman. A date with her would leave me as stiff as water. Ed Gein, they may have harvested a few cervixes, but generally being dehumanising, yes, that. And because of Bob, nah.